and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Jerusalem's Gates. I got some real important information. I thought I'd touch base with you and do a quick video. After we go over this very, very important topic, I got an extremely informative and interesting video from Al Jazeera that's going to play right after we go over a couple of things that is extremely important. Stay tuned for the video. It's extremely interesting and extremely informative. Now, the Caliphate, ISIL, they have no possession of land as they used to. The Caliphate is over. Okay, they're fleeing. They're fleeing, no doubt about it. Where are they going? Are they going to regroup? Well, my opinion is they're going to perhaps go to Yemen, but mainly, where would you go if you was a terrorist and you know that the United States has been fighting their longest war in the history of the country, trying to find a way out of it, and has a weak government that you can pretty much have your free reign, plus the landscape is absolutely perfect for hiding in mountains and caves and just desolate places where it's very difficult to find them. Mind you, Bin Laden, and I'm talking, you probably guessed it right, I'm talking Afghanistan. Now, I think that ISIS is perhaps regroup in Afghanistan. The United States wants out of Afghanistan. It's the longest war we've ever had, and they want out. The terrain is perfect for hiding large groups of people. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if they reformed under a different name. Mind you, the conversation I had coming back from Israel with a Jewish history college professor. He told me, he says, the mindset, and you may have picked this up on my last video, the mindset of a typical ISIL member is that of war, to wage war. It's in their nature, he says, to wage war. And he told me something very interesting. He said, if they run out of people to fight, they'll fight themselves. And yeah, like I said in the last video, that hit home, and it made a lot of sense to me about that. But let's get on to some information coming from NPR. Why the U.S. has continued to fight in Afghanistan. Let's quickly read over it real quick. President Trump made it clear that his intent on leaving Afghanistan, even as top military officials warned that nation harbors a growing number of groups intent on attacking the U.S. 18 years into fighting the nation's longest war, the U.S. is trying to find an exit ramp for the 14,000 troops still in Afghanistan. And it goes on the recording of the State of the Union address. President Trump, great nations do not fight endless wars. Well, I agree with that, and I support my commander-in-chief. Everybody that knows is subscribed to Jerusalem's Gate knows that I support President Trump. But ISIL, the members of ISIS and ISIL are going to move to Afghanistan, my heart's telling me. It's absolutely perfect. They know, the members know that they got defeated in Iraq and Syria, and where else can a large group of terrorists go that the government, the local government, can't control? And it's like I was stating earlier, the terrain is perfect to hide large amounts of people, and that's in Afghanistan. Now, I support my commander-in-chief, but I think that you go where the enemy's at, and the enemy is going to go to Afghanistan, I believe. I truly believe they're going to go to Afghanistan. I wanted to show you one other thing before we move on. Okay, this is coming from EBL News, and it just came out. Fears of ISIL regroup in Afghanistan after Syria defeats. And that's their headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, if you want to win the war completely, not only do you take away the caliphate, but you take away their ability to wage war and do harm to people. And my heart's telling me that they're going to go to Afghanistan. Some's already fled to Yemen. I believe Afghanistan is the regrouping, and it wouldn't shock me if they formed a new group under a different name. It wouldn't shock me at all, not at all. But on with the video. Is extremely important that you watch this video. It's just, I can't stress it enough. On a private matter, a lot of people are not getting notifications that of a new uploaded video from Jerusalem's Gate. If you ring the notification bell, I mean ring the heck out of it, and you'll get notified when new videos come up. Now, once again, Jerusalem Gate makes no money from our channel. We do it strictly for the love of getting the news out with a Christian perspective. God be with you. Here's the video. We love you.
In the wild and rugged areas of eastern Afghanistan, life is difficult at the best of times. Now it has become the main battleground against Isil, a fight that Isil is not losing. These militia know the capability of the men they're fighting. Commander Zaytoun knows better than most. He was an Isil fighter. This is video of him when he was with the armed group. He joined for idealistic reasons, he says. He left when he witnessed the brutality.
ISIL was very cruel to everyone. They killed people, slaughtered them, they used bombs, they did whatever they could. I had to leave.
He has survived 3 assassination attempts, the last a few days ago when a magnet bomb was attached to his car in a crowded marketplace, killing one of his men and badly injuring him. People here are scarred and scared by ISIL. The group launches regular attacks from mountain hideouts, and bloodshed is a constant fear. 2 of Mohib Gul's 9 sons were killed by ISIL. 1 was hacked to death with an axe.
I don't have power to take my revenge. Otherwise, I would have hammered him all over his body from head to toe. I would keep him for a week and then let him die slowly, because that is what he deserves.
With the Afghan army overstretched in the fight against the Taliban, militias are the first line of defense in Nangarhar province.
They are tough and not far from here. If we leave this area, they will come back to destroy this place again. But we will fight again until we die.
These militias have only basic arms and equipment they say is insufficient to really fight ISIL. They need more, and US air power alone is not enough to destroy ISIL bases or prevent their operations. That needs to happen on the ground. The network of tunnels and ISIL hideouts in the Tora Bora mountains are easy to defend and almost impossible to attack from the ground. Commander Zaytoun points out the spot where the Americans dropped their biggest non-nuclear bomb containing 10,000 kilos of explosives to try and destroy ISIL positions. The militias say it made no difference.
If the US paid the amount they spent on this mother of all bombs, we could have finished ISIL.
Local commanders say that ISIL here has men from Chechnya, Turkey and Pakistan in its ranks. But communities fear that if ISIL is pushed out of Syria, it will rebase to Afghanistan.
The foreign fighters are very cruel and don't have sympathy for anyone. The local ISIL have at least some feeling for Afghans, but foreign ISIL are cruel. Their hearts are made of stone.
On the battlefield, ISIL may be contained for now, but it's taking ground in the propaganda war. Last week, Afghan security services arrested a cleric and a professor who are alleged to be ISIL spies. Western diplomats report that Afghan universities have become fertile ground for ISIL recruitment. Nangarhar University in Jalalabad was closed for a time last year, so recruiters and sympathizers could be cleared out.
There's no place here for people who want to use the university for political reasons against the government. No one can bring their ideas to work against the interests of the country.
In the remote militia outposts facing ISIL positions, the hope is they get Western support and weapons before they have to encounter the battle-hardened men who will lose Syria but not a cause. Tony Bertley, Al Jazeera, Kaskala, Eastern Afghanistan.